What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. You are going to see a lot of new videos from me on this channel right here because there's just so much foolishness going on. I got a lot to say. If you enjoy my perspective on different crazy stuff going on in the world regarding Trump or politics or world news or whatever, you're stay tuned because we're about to have a lot of videos. I just feel like I got to start speaking out on this stuff because this is nuts. Number one, I really want to speak on Trump and the LA riots and all this crap, which, by the way, it's not a freaking riot. It's a protest. And typically when you have a protest, there is some level of violence. But wait a second. Oh, my gosh. There's this amazing thing that's been around for 100 years at this point. It's called the police. But the Trump administration clearly doesn't understand that. And because they don't understand that, instead, they think that it makes sense to deploy the military, and not just the military, Marines who are trained to kill and go to war and kill people and take over territory and not deal with mostly unarmed protesters. That's what the police do. I don't agree at all with Trump sending the military into California or LA. I think it's stupid. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And look, I'll be honest, I'm an independent. I'm not particularly a fan of the Democrats either. I call myself a truth teller. I don't really stand for either party. I don't live in a code on either party. I don't think the Democrats could do no wrong. I don't think the Republicans could do no wrong. I think both parties have their issues. And ultimately, I really try to just stand for truth at this point. And what Donald Trump is doing is just awful. Oh, by the way, there are reports coming out now that it's going to cost $137 million for what Trump is doing to send the military out there, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the videos and pictures. There are literally videos and pictures of the police arresting unarmed migrants or unarmed protesters, no weapons. And you see these guys with this tactical gear and the helmets and the machine guns that are literally in the military officials standing there guarding them. Why do you need the military that's armed to guard police officers that are armed that are arresting protesters? I just think that a lot of what's being shown is being blown out of proportion. Now, they played a video of a guy throwing rocks at police cars. Okay, obviously that's terrible, and that guy should face the consequences. Yes, but you do not need the military because you have a few people that are looting or throwing rocks at cars. It's so stupid. As a matter of fact, y'all, the Los Angeles chief of police put out a statement, and he said for decades we have dealt with protesters and riots and all that other stuff and looting. We've dealt with it for decades, and we are more than well equipped to deal with it now. I don't think people understand that the police of 2025 are much different than the police of 1995. In 1995, you had your typical cop with a badge and a handgun and a baton, okay? In 2025, the police are damn near armed to the teeth just like the military. They got machine guns. They got tactical gear. They got body armor. They got shields. You know, they have everything. They have everything that you need to deal with a protest or protesters or just chaos on the streets. You do not need the freaking military, let alone Marines. I mean, I can't speak enough on how ridiculously stupid that is. And then Gavin Newsom is just going off, and I'm sorry, but I side with him completely in this. I think Gavin Newsom is right. I think what Trump is doing is absolutely insane. Oh, by the way, normally when you send the National Guard or the military into a state or a city or anything like that, normally you would need the governor's approval or blessing. By the way, the last time this happened was in the 90s when you had the LA riots. I believe it was because of the Rodney King shooting. You literally had absolute chaos. You had like 40 people that died. Bunch of people got arrested. Bunch of billions of dollars in damage, happened to different things like that. And at that time, the governor said, okay, we need help. But in this case, it's not the governor saying that he needs help. As a matter of fact, both the governor and the chief of police are both saying, we do not need help. We are more than equipped to handle protesters. And so far, they seem to be. Now, what annoys me is when people pull up these BS videos of people committing crimes during a protest and saying, see, the police can't handle it. They need help. Normally when these types of protests happen, look at like the George Floyd protest or the Trayvon Martin whatever. Normally when you have protests, there is some sort of violent crime or rioting or looting that happens during this type of stuff. And then you have other people on Twitter saying dumb things like California looks like a third world country. Are you crazy? I've been to a third world country before. Obviously, the people speaking have not been to a third world country for you to say dumb things like that. So because a few people are protesting and some of them are committing violent acts and are setting things on fire, you would dare compare that to a third world country? You want to know what happened when I went to a third world country? Some of the things I can't even say on camera, but it was awful. It was the level of poverty and hopelessness and what we saw is on a different level. Okay. At the end of the day, even though people are rioting and looting, they all still got $1,000 iPhones and whatever else. Most of them got cars. Okay. You go to a third world country, they got nothing. They barely got water. Okay. It's a whole different ballgame. So I hate it when they say that it looks like a third world country because of destruction. Guess what, people? It don't matter if you're in a first world country, second world, third world, there's going to be violence and destruction. Doesn't make it a third world country because there's a violent protest. It's so dumb. But anyway, whatever. So yeah, I really don't agree with what Trump is doing. I think it's absolutely insane. Hopefully this ends soon. It's a complete waste of federal resources. It's so dumb. You don't need the military to deal with protesters. And I had somebody in my DMs trying to argue with me about it, and they were basically saying, well, what else are they supposed to do? I'm like, bro, what do you think the police are for? The police don't need help. It is literally the Trump administration and Fox News and whatever freaking media outlet, propaganda outlet, trying to scare people into thinking that the destruction and the chaos in LA is so bad that we have to send in the military. The police can more than equipped to handle it. It's the craziest thing ever. And what scares me even more is I think Los Angeles, California is just the beginning, because there's protests happening right here in Chicago where I'm living in and recording this video in right now. There are protests happening here. There are protests happening in other big cities. I believe that there's a protest happening in Omaha, Nebraska. Trump's going to mess around and try to deploy the military to go to those places too. And again, it's really dumb. It's a waste of resources. Oh, by the way, guys, the protest that is taking place in LA, not a single person has died. Not a single one. There's property damage. There's people throwing rocks. There's some, a little bit of violence or whatever, clash with the police, but nobody's died. So you're sending the military in to deal with protesters when there hasn't even been a single death. Bro, just let the police do their job. And then you're speaking for the police and saying, I forgot what the lady's name is. The Homeland Security lady went on Fox News. It was like, well, Gavin Newsom doesn't want to support our men and women in blue uniform, but we will. We would support the police. Bro, the police chief literally came out and said, we don't need help. So these idiots are just making things up. We got to help the police. They need our help. The police chief said they don't need your help. You're just saying stuff. They don't need your help. They're fine. They've been dealing with this. The protests that happened, the riots that happened in LA back in the 90s with Rodney King, way worse. A million times worse than what you're saying now. Okay? I'm just saying. So anyway, just wanted to give my thoughts on that real quick. I'm definitely going to be recording a lot more videos because this situation is crazy. And I just feel like I just got to give my thoughts out. Like, this is crazy. Anyway, you enjoyed today's video. Definitely make sure you like it. Share it too. We small over here on this second channel. The second channel small. Share it. Let the world know that we got somebody over here that tries to stand for truth and tell it like it is. And yeah, that's today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.